Hey, welcome back to DIY Willy. Oh man, it's been a crazy few days here. Uh, I'm working on the Mighty 212. It had a pretty big failure, and I'm not really sure what happened. Some debris got in it somewhere. I always wash and triple wash these things and make sure I don't have any debris in it, but somewhere some debris got inside. I don't know if it came with the carburetor or if it came through the intake on the head or something. I don't know, but you can see the pitting. Let's see if I can get some light on that. No, that doesn't help. There's pitting on the piston everywhere, and on the head too. Really hard to see like this. But on the bottom of the head too, you can see those pits. See them right there? You can really see them good right there. They're kind of like all over. And it quit running. So I couldn't get it to run again. So I decided to take it apart and see why. I don't think all this pitting was the cause of it not running. What I believe happened were the rings. If you remember, I had the rings set at about 10 and 2 and 6. And somehow the two top rings moved and got together. The gaps lined up and it just lost compression. It wouldn't start anymore. It would spit and sputter a little bit, but it wouldn't start. So I took it all apart. I saw the pitting. I've taken and wet sanded the piston with 2000 grit and water, and got all the rough spots off of it. Even on the edges, it had a couple sharp edges on it. I haven't done the head yet, but I also did the piston skirt all the way around, and then rechecked the gap on the rings. I even took, where'd it go? I even took the rings off the old piston and checked everything on it for clearances, and it seemed to be pretty much identical to this one. So I believe I'm good there. It seems to go down in the hole nice and come back up relatively easy. So I got it all cleaned up. I've got it oiled. I've got the rod back in and torqued to the 170 inch-pounds. I was just going and thought, well, I better say something about what I'm doing and what happened to the engine. So yeah, I did, as you notice, I did paint it while I had it apart. And well, now it's time to get the side cover on. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe out on the inside again, make sure I don't have any debris in there, and then I'll oil it up again, and yeah, then we can go back to working on the head and get this thing back together. There we go. It's back together. Yeah, as I explained before, I took some 2000 grit sandpaper to sand down the skirt. There were some scratches on the skirt of the piston. I had to sand down the head, and yeah, it was a lot of work. Reinstalled the rings, re-gapped them. I double checked and triple checked the gap on those rings too, and they were 8/1000ths. They were different at different parts of the bore, but pretty close to within 8/1000ths. The piston to cylinder wall clearance was about 2/1000ths on the top. No, about about 2/1000ths on the top and about 2/1000ths on the bottom. It didn't change much. It just a little bit, just a little tiny bit, but it turns pretty good. It seems to have its compression back, and now it's just trying to put the pull start back on it and I'm kind of out of time today to put it back on the frame and try to start it. I'm going to go ahead and take apart the Paul's Karts Pro Comp 28mm carb and just make sure it's washed out really good inside and out. Take the jets out, make sure everything's clean, blow it all out, and then put it back together, because some debris got in that cylinder somehow. I don't know if it came in from the carburetor, if something perhaps was loose still inside the head, although I did wash it after porting it. But some debris got inside there. When I had the valve cover off and I was tightening up the Champion rockers, I noticed that little pieces were coming off. They probably should have had some washers on them, I'm guessing, because there were little pieces of metal from the rockers coming off, and I had to go and clean all that out after I got them all torqued down. So definitely some debris could have came from the Champion rockers. And also, when I ported the head, if you look back in the video, the engine was sitting here, and I just had a paper towel over the cylinder. And I'm thinking also that some of the aluminum shavings or aluminum dust may have got back on the cylinder, and I didn't clean it. My mistake. I got too big a hurry and I didn't clean it. So this time I did fill the cylinder with oil, and I ran it down and I ran it up and I ran it down and I ran it up, and I cleaned it each time. Wiped the cylinder, I filled it up with oil again, and I did it like 3 times to make sure that all the debris was out of the cylinder before I put the head on. Then I also washed the head again, the chamber out again, and yeah, let's hope that it runs again, fires up, and we'll be better, more responsive. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and take the carburetor off and clean it up. I may also check the jets. Up here I have the jet sizes that I saw when I had it open. Right now it's got a pilot of a 48 pilot and a 120 main. And last time that I had the spark plug out, it was black. If I can remember, I'll put a picture here somewhere. It was black. So obviously I think the pilot jet, I'm not sure, but one of those jets, or maybe both of those jets, I need to go down in size for the 212cc. This is a 28mm carb, and it might be just a little too much for the 212. I don't know, but it ran fine. It ran good. It just was too much, too rich. So I'm gonna try to lean it out, changing the jets. That'll be another video once we have an exhaust made for it, and on the mini bike we'll work on tuning those jets. So yeah, but what a crazy build this has been. I didn't anticipate this happening to it. In a way, I'm glad I did. I wanted to paint the engine, and I wasn't sure how I was going to paint it with it all together. So having to take it all apart again gave me the opportunity to paint it, and I think it looks way better. Yeah, it looks really good. And I'll cross my fingers that cross my fingers that everything works out good again, and it starts up and runs flawlessly. And yeah, well, just a quick video here of doing the repairs and talking about what happened. And yeah, it's a good engine. We'll start it up, like I said, here next tomorrow maybe, or the day after. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Leave a comment down below. I try to answer all the comments I can right away as soon as I see them. And I'm going to leave some links to some other great engine builders and that I like to watch. And also I'll leave links to my playlist for the 79cc, the 224cc, and this monster 212 build. There we go. I'm at a loss for words. But yeah, Mighty's right there waiting for it. As soon as I get it dialed in, I need to make the exhaust before I can tune the carb. So that's next on the agenda once I get some gas or some flux core welder. So well, it's been a great video, a lot of work today, and well, I'll see you next time. Bye.